Good morning, children. Today I will be taking the effects of hypersecretion of pituitary gland. Hypersecretion and the effects of hyposecretion of pituitary. Now, before starting this, give you a brief explanation of my previous lecture. I told you the pituitary gland consists of three lobes. The front part called anterior lobe, then the middle part called intermediate lobe, and the back part called as posterior lobe. So there are three parts of pituitary gland: anterior pituitary, intermediate and posterior pituitary. Now all these three are the parts of a pituitary gland only, and this gland is situated from the base of the midbrain, from a part of brain called hypothalamus. Anterior, they all are different from one another because they secrete different hormones. Anterior pituitary gland, you will find it is the main part of the gland and secretes many hormones. It secretes growth hormone, it secretes the prolactin, that is leukotropic hormone, and then thyroid stimulating hormone, adrenal corticotropic hormone, follicle stimulating hormone, and luteinizing hormone. Then you'll find out of these the prolactin, follicle stimulating hormone, and luteinizing hormone, they are the parts of gonadotropic hormone. The gonadotropic hormone is of three types. Prolactin, which is this hormone, is going to stimulate the mammary glands in females to secrete milk. Then the gonadotropic hormone, this is going to the follicle stimulating hormone is that type of hormone which is going to form the follicle, that is a cellular sac, and helps in maturation of the formation of egg in the follicle and formation of sperms in the testes. You should only know this, that the follicle stimulating hormone in females, it helps in maturation of the egg, and in males it helps in the maturation of the sperms in the testes. Then the luteinizing hormone, its function is to form corpus luteum. When the egg is fully matured, the cellular sac ruptures, and that ruptured part, the remains of that ruptured part, is called corpus luteum, which becomes endocrine in nature and secrete the female hormones progesterone and estrogen. Progesterone prepares the uterus to receive the fertilized egg, and estrogen is the female hormone which helps in developing the female secondary sexual characters like development of breast, broadening of the hips. In males, this luteinizing hormone helps in the secretion of a male hormone called testosterone, which helps in the development of the male secondary sexual characters like the bearing of beard, mustaches, deep voice. All these secondary sexual characters are seen due to this hormone. Then the growth hormone. This hormone, you will find secreted from the anterior pituitary gland, is essential for the normal growth of the body. Thyroid stimulating hormone will be secreted from anterior pituitary gland and is responsible for stimulating the thyroid gland to secrete the required thyroxine according to the requirement of the body. All these hormones are being stimulated, and then last is adrenocorticotropic hormone, secreted from anterior pituitary gland, and it is going to stimulate the adrenal gland, the adrenal cortex of the adrenal gland. It helps in its normal development, growth, so that it can function properly and can secrete its cortical hormones. So all these hormones are secreted from the anterior pituitary gland. Then the posterior pituitary intermediate lobe has got no role to play in our body. But this lobe has got a very important role in the lower group of animals. It secretes an important hormone, melanocyte stimulating hormone. This hormone will control the distribution of skin pigment melanin in the body of the animals. Like grasshopper, you must have seen, the chameleon, they keep on changing their colors from brown, green. This is because of this melanostimulating hormone which is being secreted from the intermediate lobe, and this part has got no function in the higher group of animals like human beings. Posterior pituitary gland, it serves as a storage for the two hormones, that is antidiuretic hormone, also called vasopressin, and oxytocin. Antidiuretic hormones, its function is, when it is released from the posterior lobe of pituitary gland, it is going to stimulate the tubular part of the kidneys, nephrons, its tubular part, and make the kidney tubules to reabsorb the water coming along with the glomerular filtrate, and will maintain the percentage of water in the blood. So this is the hormone which is responsible for the reabsorption of water, and it also helps in raising the blood pressure by bringing about the constriction of the blood vessels in many tissues. Like vasoconstriction takes place in the skin due to the contraction of the blood vessels, the rise in blood pressure takes place. Now, if this hormone, antidiuretic hormone, is secreted less than the required amount by the body, a person suffers from a disease called diabetes insipidus, that is water diabetes. One diabetes I taught you in the case of this hormone insulin, that is diabetes mellitus, due to the less secretion of insulin in our body. The person suffers from sugar diabetes called diabetes mellitus, and this is less secretion of antidiuretic hormone, and the person suffers from a the water diabetes called diabetes insipidus. In this, the symptoms of this disease is the person will urinate frequently every now and then, and lot of water is being released from the body. The person feels thirsty because of large amount of water that is being released out. Because of the less antidiuretic secreted, the kidney tubules are not able to reabsorb the water from the glomerular filtrate. Then comes the next hormone, oxytocin. This oxytocin hormone is released from the posterior lobe of pituitary gland at the time of childbirth in females. Immediately this hormone will be released, and this hormone is going to produce vigorous, very quick, fast, and with lot of force contraction of the uterus, so that the baby inside the uterus may be pushed out of mother's uterus. So this is a hormone is responsible. Now we will come to the effects of hypersecretion of pituitary, hyper or over secretion. Now we will find if the growth hormone is secreted more than required by the body, then this results in a condition called gigantism, that is the extraordinary growth of long bones. As a result, the person attains extraordinary height, and all the body parts are in proportion. So age of a person is less, but will gain lot of height like a giant due to the over secretion of the growth hormone from the anterior pituitary gland. Then the other, in case of this is in childhood, the gigantism takes place, over secretion of growth hormone in childhood will result in extra growth of the long bones. Then acromegaly, it is the over secretion of growth hormone in the adults. Suddenly in adults the growth hormone started secreting more than required by the body. Then in that case the person will develop the disproportionate growth of the bones takes place. All of a sudden, hands, feet, cheek and jaws, broad hands, thick nose, thick lips, all these are the symptoms. The person develops large nose and thick lips, and this condition is called as acromegaly. So this condition arises due to over secretion of growth hormone in adults, whereas gigantism occurs due to the over secretion of growth hormone in the childhood. Now we'll come to the hypersecretion of melanostimulating hormone. If this stimulating hormone is secreted more than required by the body, by the intermediate lobe, it leads to more of melanin will be produced and will result in the darkening of the skin. Then effects of hyposecretion means less secretion of pituitary gland. If growth hormone is secreted less than required by the body in the childhood, from childhood, if the growth hormone is secreted less, this will result in slower growth of bones and other body organs. So the person will remain short structured. Height will not increase, the person will go on increase, its age will increase but will not show physical growth. This condition is called dwarfism or mid-Getz or pituitary nemism, or it is the condition of dwarfism, that is short height person. Under secretion of antidiuretic hormone or vasopressin results in diabetes insipidus. I explained you what are diabetes. In this condition, large amount of urine is produced, leading to dehydration and thirst, and this large amount of urine means loss of large amount of water in urine, so this is water diabetes. So till here we have done it, and if any part is still left, we have done all the glands in detail which is in your syllabus. And now the last part that is left of this chapter is feedback control mechanism, that I will be taking tomorrow. I will take the revision of the effects of hypo and hypersecretion of pituitary gland along with this part, feedback mechanism. With this we will complete the chapter. You go on observing my videos and come out with your problems if you have any. Okay, thank you.